What's up, YouTube family? JT and E Backyard Orchard here. Today's video is going to be the part 3 to our 3-part series. First part was us pruning our trees, getting them ready for spring. Second part, I know in the first video I said it was going to be about fertilizing the trees and all that, but we ended up to go a different route. We ended up doing a whitewash on our trees, on all of our trees, in that second part to the video. So go ahead and check that video out. This is going to be part 3 of that series, and we're going to be doing the fertilizing of the trees and ground in the orchard, out here in the yard, a lot of our citrus. We have a tree in the front that we're going to be putting a certain kind of fertilizer in there and a slow release. I'll get into details with that. And then we're also going to be putting in the newly planted trees. We're going to be putting a little bit of fertilizer that we had from last year left over, just to where we can get a good fertilization in these trees right away. It's going to be a liquid fertilizer. I'll kind of touch base on that a little bit too as well. So go ahead, stay tuned. Hope you guys like the video. Let's get right to it. We're just gonna go ahead and talk about the fruit tree fertilizer really quick. Like I said, for the most part, in my last video, I talked about our chickens, being in the orchard part, where their coop is at. They fertilize the ground pretty much as it needs. I just throw a little bit down, so I don't really use a heavy duty fertilizer. This is a Spoma Tree Tone. I believe it's a 632. And it's completely organic, just a granular slow release that goes into the orchard and goes onto the trees as well. And then I also clean out, which I'm about to do right now because spring is coming, even though the weather's a little wonky. I do clean out the run and their coop. So now I'm going to take out all their deep litter all their deep litter that I use for deep litter method throughout the winter to keep them warm. I'm going to take all that out, put it in a bucket, spread it around all the trees as much as possible. Also use that as a mulch because it is straw on top of the bark that we have. So that's going to go down as well, and then that'll slowly start decomposing over time and return back into the soil. The worms will like that stuff, and then they'll start eating it and everything. And then for our newly planted trees, just to give them a little boost, I have this Alaska fish fertilizer. It's a 511. I put this every time I plant a new tree. It just helps give them a good boost of nutrition right away. And then I throw a little bit of that granulated 632 organic Espoma Tree Tone on top of there as well, just to where it'll slowly break down. But this will go down to the roots where they need it right away into the hole, especially being the brand new newly planted trees that they are. Check those videos out where we planted the donut peach, the galaxy peach, and then that one has a donut peach graft on it, and then also the 4-in-1 pluot. Check that video out because the root system wasn't all that great. So any nutrients you can get into the hole right away, like this stuff, is really good for them. I use this every time I planted a new tree when I first started my orchard. I know this stuff works very well. It's for organic gardening. It will not burn. Go ahead and check this stuff out on your free time. Alaska Fish Fertilizer. It's really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. All right, so basically from there, we're just going to basically, get our rake, and we're just going to rake all this back away from the trunks on each side. I'm also going to, once we get the fertilizer laid down, we're also going to bring all that hay that's inside the run right now. Also got some eggs that are in the run that I need to grab. All that's been in there all winter, mostly all winter. I mean, I've scraped it out a couple times. I'm going to pull that out and use that also as mulch for the ground cover, and then put some new hay inside the girls' run. But before I do that, like I said, I'm going to rake everything out, put a good layer of fertilizer down, and we'll go ahead and talk about how you apply. For me, it's easy as 1, 2, 3, honestly. 1, pull back the mulch. 2, put a good layer of fertilizer around your drip line, of your trees, which is the outer edges of your tree branches. And then 3, recover it up and water it in. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm telling you. I got the girls putting in a little bit of work, helping me get the bark out of the area, just to where I can fertilize these trees. We're also getting my worms, but that's all right. There'll be more. Got a lot of new growth coming in on this Owari Satsuma. I'm really excited about. Like a lot of new little flower buds too. I'm definitely gonna let this one fruit this year. All right, so I got everything pretty much away from basically where the drip line is on all these trees. Pulled away from the trunk and pretty much where the drip line is. And now we're just gonna put in our fertilizer. All right, so I basically have this. It's Scott's Whiz year-round spreader. Use this for seed, but I also use this for my fertilizer because it kind of spreads it out nice and evenly. It has an automatic sprayer, and it just throws it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start spreading it. It's a nice kind of like even thick layer. Just everywhere. All right, just to show you a little bit of a close-up. Just kind of shake it while it's spitting it out. Nice little layer. So you can see it's kind of, some of it's kind of close to the trunk, but it's okay. This stuff is completely organic. It's not hot. It's not gonna burn the tree. Which I'll pull it a little bit away from the tree trunk, but that's a pretty good layer right there. Now let's get our nectarine trees done. Same thing. Come near around the drip line. Make sure you get all sides so the ground is nice and covered with the granular. That's pretty much it. The backyard orchard is fertilized, ready to get covered back up by that mulch and then watered in. That's pretty much it. You know, it's not hard. Like I said, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, pull back the bark. 2, throw down your fertilizer. 3, cover back up and water it in. Easy as that. So we will go ahead and do that to the rest of our trees. As far as our Blenheim apricot, our citrus tree out here, and our fig tree, and our 2 citrus trees. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm going to do for the newly planted trees, and also one of the trees that we have in the front yard in the whiskey wine barrel. All right, now full disclosure, this stuff does not smell good. It is fish fertilizer, and that's what it is. It is like basically fish guts, all the leftover fish stuff. It maybe is a fish, all redefined, compressed, set over time, and it's just made into this sludge. I don't know if you can see how thick that is or not. Oh, I just dropped some. There it is right there. So this says for vegetable bedding plants, bulbs, annuals, perennials, roses, vines, berries, shrubs, root vegetables, outdoor container plants, and trees. It says 4 tablespoons per 25 square feet of soil. Now this stuff isn't going to burn. All I do, I used to go by that, but I don't have a lot of this left because, like I said, I've used this. It's been in my shed for a little while because I haven't used it, because I haven't really planted anything. I only use this when I do newly planted trees. Everything else I just use that other fertilizer. But I just go ahead and do a couple like good glugs into a bucket. I fill that bucket then full of water, and then I pour it into the tree base. And I'll show you that on the newly planted trees, and then the tree that we have in the front. All right, so I accidentally put it in there, forgot to hit record, but I did a couple of good glugs. I'll show you right now when we do it on the second tree. But yeah, now I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this full of water. This stuff does not smell good, so if you got a weak stomach, you know, whatever, don't use this stuff. But you can see it just turns into like this mucky, muddy water, but it literally smells like fish guts, whatever. You know, kind of stir it up a little bit, fill that full, and then we're gonna go put it in the tree. Basically, now all you're gonna do is just dump it directly in the hole. Now this isn't gonna burn the tree, it just means we put it all close in there into the hole. It's really good for the tree. It's a good jump starter for it. I've always used it, again, like I said, in newly planted trees. Once you throw it in the hole, you can just add a little bit more water if you want, if you're nervous about that or not. For me, I don't. I just kind of let it sit in there, and then I'll go back and re-water it in a little bit later. But that's pretty much it. It's going to be the same thing for the other tree over there, the Galaxy Peach. Now let's go do our citrus tree in the front. All right, so I remember to hit record this time. Like I said, forgot last time, sorry about that. A couple of the glugs. 2, 3 good glugs. If you can get a good first one, whichever. And then you just water it in. Just try to get it all nice and mixed up. And then you just fill up the bucket. And now this is going to be for our other sumo mandarin that we put in the front in a whiskey wine barrel. If you want to check that video out, go ahead and check that out. Me and my daughter planted it up in this whiskey wine barrel. So we're just going to go ahead and throw that fish emulsion into the whiskey wine barrel to where it can automatically get some fertilizer. And then also we'll go ahead and throw a little bit of granulated on there as well to where it'll slow release, but we want to give it some nutrients right away. Go ahead and dump it all on in there. And that's pretty much it. I'll just go ahead and let it sit in that whiskey wine barrel to where all the nutrients will kind of sit in there. You got to remember, with whiskey wine barrels or any kind of potted citrus or fruit trees, all that nutrients eventually is going to wash out the bottom because it's a pot. So you got to keep on doing this or the granulated every, you know, once in a while. If you guys have any comments about that, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll give you more answers about how often you have to with potted fruit trees. I only have a couple, but I do have information on that, so let me know if you want that. That's pretty much going to do it for today's video. I did think about putting in this video about you know, showing you how I redo my irrigation. Basically how I do it, I go through the orchard, the backyard orchard back there. I check my irrigation, I check all the heads that are on. I have it on a drip irrigation system. If you want me to do a full video on that, let me know down in the comment section below. I'll talk about what heads I use, just basic bubblers and some sprays, some bubbler sprayers. And I have it on a water timer system over there. I haven't had it on all winter, so basically I'm gonna check everything, make sure all the heads are good. I know there are some broken ones. 1, because I stepped on a couple right now. 2, the chicken's digging around, so it's all, you know, messed up back there. So I'll go ahead and fix everything and do that. But let me know if you want a full extent video on that. I hope you guys liked today's video. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment down below if there's any questions you have about anything we had in today's video. Don't forget to boom that button, y'all, and we'll see you in the next one.